Hello, Fambulem, my brothers and sisters, VOS family. This is Abdul Karim Kagbo, the founder and CEO of VOS Network. Fambulem don't come with another segment of Salone issues, and the program. This is a program where they come to every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Standard Time. We get a little bit of delay because we go through some issues where one of we people they volunteer in a salon get into trouble with the government. One of the comedians we unfortunately it do something we not condone, but we able general manager they work behind the scene. He go pull a statement, and in the next maybe day or two we go do a joint statement live after we don't know more about the issue. So for now, for the people we go feel say we no recognize that, I just want to make it clear. Say indeed we recognize that, and we condemn the way we project the comedy, but at the same time, our Leone no say we na VOS na family, so it still be family. And as a result, on behalf, before GM pull the statement, I'll make them categorically clear. Say we apologize on behalf of the administration, on behalf of the president, on behalf of the entire VOS family, and they apologize to the president and the administration for that, I will call it distasteful comic stunt where one of the comedians pull. We unfortunately, I will say unfortunately, because run by we, I don't know exactly who side gets the motivation, because we make them very clear. Say we need to disrespect nobody. VOS we they point out things where we believe say therefore improve. But for say we disrespect somebody, then they absolutely not to VOS. But again, as I say, it still remain with family. It still remain part of VOS family, and as a result, we go do we best for talk to the authority, and let we see how then we go go about a release. Because for right now, they don't even arrest them, and we're not able to get in touch with them yet. And we hope and pray that is safe, and we appeal to the administration, say let we get away, for let them allow we talk to them, we reach to them. So that's not a sad thing, and me and GM be there behind the scene, and that's make a come about few minutes late with the program. But a program where I feel say we need for talk about things we need particularly the areas where the governments they do well, we need for give them kudos. The areas where they need improvement, we equally need for talk to them and give we own suggestions as to how they can able for improve things because na Salone we want let things improve. And again, they repeat this, the side and where we want for where we feel say then they do well, absolutely let we praise them. And the side where they do well, we need for call them to it. So fumble them the topic, and we will try for keep within the 2-hour mark. The topic tonight, within the topic tonight they talk about, they talk about say let we make sense of the MCC scorecard. What did he say about Sierra Leone? For some of you now we're not familiar with our MCC. This a sort of scorecard where the MCC na abbreviation for Millennium Challenge Corporation. So then they put every year together a scorecard where they get about 18 indices where then go get different factors them, 18 major factors them of how a government they run a country, and then they score the government on different front, and one of the scores them now on corruption. And I go show now very shortly Salone do extremely well, and then they're not surprising. As a matter of fact, this year the scorecard, according to the scorecard, now the highest mark we Salone ever don't get since they start for put together the scorecard, this Millennium Challenge Corporation, the MCC scorecard. So it mean a lot, and that's something where I believe say beaucoup Sierra Leoneans then go proud of, and they're not go completely surprised, because the ACC they do a fantastic job, as plenty of una go agree. But even at that, we get other areas them where I go say equally important. Some people then go say more important, but a left owner for determine the importance of the areas then they. So we go show now back how the administration do, and again where are they do this, because I know say some of we APC brothers and sisters then go want forget foresee this as a victory lap. But what thing we go do, we get an article, we'll go read the article, we'll go first go through the good things the way the government, the good part of the scorecard, and then the challenging parts them we go discuss them as well. But waiting we go also try for do, because beaucoup people go want for say, oh well, waiting be happen the previous administration before President Bio take power. We get for talk about that, because plenty time a nice way you make comparison, people then will understand them in context. They're not go just point finger per one administration over the other. So we want to make sure say that not happen at all. So we go now. We're not gonna waste. We're not gonna spend too much time for do my own analysis. But I just want for let una do plenty of the talking. Let una sort of tell we waiting una make of this. Waiting now una own assessment. If na something we're encouraging, if waiting una sort of go suggest as to how we all let we make this solution oriented. Let we recommend to the president and the administration. Waiting are some of the things they will then go do for improve on the scores them way very low. So that's not the challenge where I want for let we get, and possibly the thin way I go encourage we all for let we take from this presentation tonight. So fumble them let I know spend too much time, and let I go straight to the article, where in a nutshell this article talk about things them, factors them, where responsible for the high scores and the low scores. So them factors then we want for address them in a holistic way, as the bookman go say. So as a result, we go to get a better understanding of waiting they go on in the country. So fumble them let I go straight, and before we do that though, I want for also encourage we fumble them for let we share, and as we can always do, we can recognize the people that we don't join we, and not say hopefully more people and go join we, but we still need to recognize the people that we don't join we, and let we show them say indeed then na family then go always be a family of VOS. We want for say particular thank you to we sister we na Kisha Fofana. Thank you so much Sister Kisha for where you always to join we, and one for say boku thank you to we brother we na Musa Kagbo. Thank you so much brother Musa for we join we, and we young sister we na Kanko Mansari. Thank you so much for we join we, and Isa Munu, thank you so much. It's a continue the work VOS family, and thank you for that brother Isa. And one for say boku thank you to we sister we na Sister Zainab Sia. Thank you so much for where you join we. Let God bless. And one for say boku thank you to another sister we na Alice Dixon. Thank you so much. You say good evening my VOS family. And we brother Mustafa Toure. Thank thank you so much. You say good evening to all viewers family. And indeed, I want to say boku boku thank you and good evening to now all we don't join we. And I sure say boku other people them. Unfortunately, Facebook still give you a little bit of restriction where they not go notify people and say we don't come. So as a result, we go appeal to una, let una notify, we fumble them for say yes, VOS don't come on, and let people and go benefit from this discussion, particularly where it comes to suggestions as to waiting now some of the things them where we go suggest for let the government to do, and then tin and day for help in improving the country. So there una share, and for the people them way get friends them una do una start a party, a watch party, so that way the people and will equally watch live with we all. So again, I want to say boku boku thank you to all the people that we don't join we na this platform. So Fambulem, let's go straight to the article, and after the article, the other thing where we go show the actual score. And again, if we not do comparison, then it go fair to the current administration. So we need foresee waiting at the score before they take power and now. So that way we go able to say yes, overall the score terrible, but how it be there before they take power. So when we do that, then we go able for determine say they don't improve, even though we still there in the red, but they don't improve, and that improvement they don't push the country a little bit further. But if the side we then take up, then scores then they deteriorate, then we definitely go point back to them and say no, they need improvement in this area because things that don't worsen. So now that kind of assessment they we get for make. And again, I appeal to people them, my brothers and sisters them, for the most part, boku people them where we they can with them programs here, then they put party ahead of the country. And then they completely wrong. Yes, now we right, now we now we democratic right for belong. Yes, you can belong to a political party, but let we put the country, let we think about the country at large. Because remember, una way they support them political parties here. If una not speak out, the leaders them they not go no say things they go right. And the same thing again, if they do well, if we not praise them, they're not go able get the continuous zeal for continue with the good work where they do. So either way, to me, I strongly believe say it helpful. So as a result, let we know they say, oh, because of now this party I belong and I'm in a power. So if things them we require improvement, they know there's una quiet and una still they make false propaganda or whatever it is for make people feel say everything rosy. Then they're equally wrong. Unfair to the country. The same way so again to the people that we feel say then they are the opposition. And because of them they are the opposition or the opposition party then they support. So regardless of the good thing where the current administration go do, then go feel say the best way is for twist them and see them in a negative light. Then they also completely wrong. So dear, who say the good there, let we praise them and let them know say that we acknowledge the good the way that they do. But equally so, if they do well, let we also put them to them. Let them not get that false assurance. Say things then they go well, where indeed things then they go well. Because if we give them false assurance, it create a disconnect with the people of Sierra Leone. And we all know say we people poor. And then they struggle. So if the government gets false assurance, me fumble them, they're not go able for make the drastic measure, put the drastic measures them in place for make a swift turnaround. So I appeal to everybody will join me in this program for let we think about this. Let we put the country first, and not to just by saying it, but let we do them. So I will go now for show the article. And I go slowly read the article, my brothers and sisters. So this article, it says Sierra Leone scores high on the 2020 MCC scorecard, but more needs to be done fast. And I like this headline because again I go show una, if you look at the number of the indicators them, we do more. We do better in most in more, I will say that, because about 10 out of 18 scorecard or indices. So that's, to me, I will say encouraging thing. But the sideway, definitely they need big adjustment. I go also point to the areas then they. So again, this now yesterday actually the scorecard, the update where now 2020, and also Bokof una go surprise why it be 2020 where we still there on 2019. Now because of the 2020 is simply mean fiscal year. Because people are way familiar with finance, they know say where the government they do in planning, they plan them for the next year. So in this case now, this particular result is say 2019 and 2020 fiscal year. So now that make it be 2020 MCC. We na Millennium Challenge Corporation. So I hope say una go will understand why it be 2020. Now the reason that. So let me read and I will sort of show una a picture of the ambassador to the US where he present physically, it present the result of the MCC where it come to Salone. So Salone result, it present them to President Bill. And I'm so glad with this be the case, because a nice for like President Bill no say the American government, they take their scorecard here very seriously. Otherwise, the ambassador to the US not for go deliver them himself. So that's the show, and I'm so glad the last time we get Mr. Ben Kelfala on this platform where Madam Fadima Savage and we own Professor Kutubu where they interview him, it talk about this MCC, so meaning that they recognize them and then trust them. Then trust the scorecard, say that scorecard there now something where they go look into and see whose areas they need improvement now the country, and whose areas then they do well where they for maintain. So that's now one thing where I want for let we all know, because you know it's very easy now Salone where something not favorable to a particular political party, then discredit the source. The Allah will not do that, because this now one thing, this picture will tell we say this now credible source, and the president self recognize them, and the ACC boss self now this program we don't recognize them. So let me read further, and again I want to say special thank you to the Sierra Leone Telegraph where they published this, and yesterday where now the 3rd of November they published them, and it continue. By the way, the actual publication of the result now be Friday. So for people them we want to know exactly when they publish the report itself. So now be Friday we then publish them. So it say last Friday President Julius Maada Bio received the latest report of the Millennium Challenge Corporation MCC into the government performance in managing the affairs of the country. That one day is very clear. According to the report, which was presented to the president by Maria Brewer, the American ambassador to Sierra Leone, the government has performed quite well after just 17 months in office. So this now one caveat we I go encourage people for really take from this. If you look at the overall performance, you go say, well, depending upon USA you emphasize, where we go come to that, but you go say, yes, the government performed very well. And what to make them say the government performed very well, the next paragraph will talk about that. It say out of a total of 20, I will say 18, but 20 policy areas assessed by the MCC, the government passed 11. Okay, so imagine out of 20, then pass 11. Promoting political rights, then get 92%. Promoting civil liberties, then get 88%. But again, we go show una the actual score where the ambassador go present to the president exactly how it in at the website. Now that way they are go show una later after this, after we read this article. So it say promoting civil liberties, 88%. Controlling corruption, 79%, putting good trade policy in place, 70%, promoting rule of law, 58%, promoting freedom of information, 85%, promoting gender in the economy, 61%, spending on healthcare, 68%, investing in primary education, no data available prior to the publication of the report, but MCC gave the government a pass. And I go show una that by the report where the right say they not get data, exact data at the time, but they still assess say the government they do very well in terms of for promote education, particularly to the girls them, but in terms of the overall primary education, they still say the government pass on that. And we all know saying that the government in flagship program and relatively looking at plenty other indicators them, they do very well on that front there. And the article continue for also talk about the promoting small startups, 85%, girls primary education completion rate, the rate at which we girl picking and they complete primary education, that rates they go up, which is also kudos, because we know say Mandela and Bokwada people that don't say when you educate the girl child, you not only educate one person, but you don't educate a whole nation. Because with a girl child being educated, it in fact reduce poverty. And with the Siam Naya now, where the woman them actively involved in economic development of the developed countries them, we see that. So for there we girl picking and they go school, and remember them people are with all where then they go work, they still be the caretakers them of the home, the nurses, the nurturing aspect, then still they do that. And some of them really where the man don't also be cook, where then come out work, then come back and cook, take care of the picking them and stuff like that. So you see, when you educate a woman, a girl child, not only him, the entire family they benefit. But for we demand them, we don't for so long we don't be the beneficiary of plenty of them things here. But they left the woman them behind, and waiting they happen, they see increase in child poverty because of the mama them poor and the man them bail out on them, and waiting can happen now the begin end up for poor. So if you don't educate that girl picking, if even the man bail out on him, he left her with him picking, guess what? He capable for take care of himself and take care of the picking. So you see how the country as a whole, the benefit from educating a girl child. So one for say kudos to the government for where then get increased score in that regard there. So let me continue for see waiting at the other things them where them point out, and we'll see again a picture of the ambassador and the president. So I want to say kudos for that collaboration day. And the article continue for say but the government is struggling in 9 policy areas that need a lot of attention in order to significantly improve its overall governance performance, especially in managing the economy, where most households in the country are experiencing great difficulty in putting food on the table. So the photo above where show the president where they discuss the score with the ambassador or the American ambassador to Sierra Leone. So now a sort of snapshot of the score now, and I go show una and I go explain, I go make them bigger for Leone see. I want for now let we just kind of read through, and then I go come deeper into the scores where una see. So the article continue for say, according to the MCC report, the government scored an appalling 4% on fiscal policy. Taxation in Sierra Leone is very high for both middle and higher income earners, as well as local businesses. This is bad for investments, job creation, and employee productivity. So they use a strong word there, say appalling, and a really 4%. And una go see say now the lowest score since them begin put together data with respect to the scorecard, because again, as I say, this Millennium Challenge Corporation score, they start this whole process in 2014, so not too long ago. So they don't get boku data, but the past 5 years, the 5 years way they don't put this together, this 4% in terms of fiscal policy. So for people that we don't know it in a fiscal policy, for the most part, now the economic policy, the government in policies them for the money business, like for improve what we will call the bread and butter issues. So it tell we say the government score 4%. With respect to the bread and butter issues. And I know say boku people are not go surprised, even though some people and they say, oh, na propaganda and stuff, but I go come to that later as we get along. But this article, they point to say, because of taxes they're so high, and not only for the rich people, the middle class them also, the tax very high. And it talk about businesses. So where tax high, remember where people and they go into business now for make profit. So if you pay too much on tax, that means you they reduce your profit. So for let you maintain that same profit where you be they maintain before the tax go up, now the people away they buy your product, now then forget that burden day. But where you put too much burden on the people away they buy your product, waiting get for happen, then go begin they bypass your product, then go begin avoid your product. So you're not going to sell much, and at that make when you increase tax on businesses, people already invest in the country, you they reduce their profit, and that they discourage them for investing even more. So now that make they say for let you put too much tax, even though the government need tax for do plenty of the things them, like the free education, not to free. Then put say free education, but not to free. Government they pay for them through the tax where they the revenue where they collect from taxes, and some thanking the money where they go to us. And remember, them money then they where they trust, then get for pay them with interest. So who that get for pay them now the Salone people them. So I'm not saying politics for say free education, but enough free. And now them place here because people know better than the people, the average person at Salone. No politician no go say Canada, for example, we get what they call universal healthcare system. Now England and other European countries, them England then say NHS, the National Health Service. So then get that. So but guess what? Don't know, you know you then say free healthcare. No. any politician will attempt for say that he not go even win election because then go see and like say it was stupid the people them again, and they go at the government, but just they explain to now that word free education is completely wrong. Not a free education at all. The need for column other name, but I know say because of politics, because they want to let people really see say that they do well, they make free, they say free, but no, not so free. The same way as they tax people them and make the roads them, pay with sojaman the way they protect, where they go fet for we, pay the police them where they protect we. We know you then say free police, we know you then say free roads, we know you then say free sojaman them, free court. No. So do not say all that. But why they say free education, it's all politics. But whether or not we agree on the so-called free, but the fact of the matter is, for the fact say, now in flagship program and this scorecard don't show very well, say, this people and they benefit from it. I think so for give the government kudos. In terms of how much it go cost, then in another argument we are not want for put into this particular report. I want let it be more on the scorecard instead of my own analysis. My own analysis, maybe I go hold off on that, but I will just try for interpret waiting the scorecard mean to we people, and so then go get better understanding of within the scorecard say. And it continue for say high government spending, especially on public sector salaries, and increase in borrowing have also accounted for this very poor score and needs immediate policy reset. So what it mean now? It means say the government, they spend more than the revenue where they collect, and for people away don't you read the word deficit. So now that it mean where government they spend more, they get revenue, but the revenue where they get, the money where they spend, it pass the revenue where they get. So it just tell like where you they work $1,000 a month, where na dandy na you paycheck, you take home after they don't cut tax everything. But where you go do grocery, you get car payment, you get for pay your rent and all that, you end up for spend 1,100. So what in that mean? It means say you get for fend other side where you go pay the extra 100 because the money where you work is less than the money where you spend. So the more you spend more than what you make. So that's now where you get for either use credit card or you go ask a friend or a family member for let them toss you that 100. So that trust there, if you take your credit card, you get for pay interest. If you go take bank loan, you get for pay interest. So now that's the scenario because the government, and again I go show una the previous administration, because I don't want for let we APC brothers and sisters them see this as a victory lap and just they bash the government, because me always like for go back and say okay, well waiting how they call and trend, how it be done they happen till President Bill take over. So we get for assess that as well. So let we not glad yet, but the fact of the matter is the government, the previous government, I don't show several in the previous administration, they spend more, maybe they spend more than waiting them be they get in revenue. So now that make the deficit be just the increase. And this government again don't come with the same pattern. And denting and they and according to the article I put them back, the main side where them where they say they cause that the public sector salaries. And again, that increase in borrowing. So then two aspects then the law explain first the salaries. So you find out say, and people and they say this administration, the size of the administration too big. You look the number of ministers then too boku. You look the numbers of the deputy ministers then too boku, and other areas there where they don't go open. More additional workers they required, and then they cause for like the money where they spend on salaries it go up big time. And like how I say, now part of the government in spending. And remember, I talked back about this education. The education is self now part of the government spending. The government now from the taxes, and if you not do, then go to us. So what thing can happen, I bring me to the other side. Say, where you they trust, the money where you they go to us, not to free money, then go trust you, but you get for pay with interest. So that interest, they some loans them, then go say, okay, well, just they pay the interest. The principal, we not worry it bottom, but just they pay the interest. So that interest where you just they pay, then call them loan servicing. So you get for service the debt. So that money where you they pay, what you don't do is, if the money where you trust, you know, put them aside where it go bring more money, where you, if you they pay safe the interest, because you don't make what they call the multiplier effect, you don't multiply the money where for allow you for pay that loan there with interest easy one. If you not do that, you go put the money in a side way and not multiply the money where you go receive, and it cause hardship at the country, because that money you don't spend, you don't go, you know, get too much benefit out of it. Now you don't count for pay the debt. So when you they pay the debt, what in that they mean? It means say the money where they pay the debt with, now from the revenue where they collect, now there you get for pull back, you pay debt. Remember, the spending in the first place, the more than the revenue. So now you take more debt. So that means you go spend more. And the revenue now, if you don't increase them, how you they increase them? For encourage people and for go invest and for reduce tax, so more activities then will be generated and increase what we call the pie. So you increase the pie, or in a technical term, then say you increase the tax base. So if you not increase the tax base, the revenue will remain the same, and then you spending increase big time. So when you get then two combination there, where the previous administration self be they do with all fairness, and waiting get for they happen, you go always there in debt. And that's not the deficit what they explain. And that deficit they put pressure on prices. Because now anybody will want to trust you, it go ask for more interest, because of you don't become now too fearful for trust, because you debt them don't too much past what you they make, and as a result then get for begin scared for say this person probably not going to pay me because the burden too much on, and the debt burden, and as a result then get waiting and call risk premium. So you go want for ask more for let them pay you in a form of interest, because of the higher risk where you they take for trust this government. So when you do that, in a way you they reduce the value of the money. So again, I want to explain them in a simple way for let people able to understand. So at the cut certain things them because I don't want for ball now with too much technicality now. So now that make where the government, and again, nothing wrong if the government spend past waiting they make, but it get for be within short time. Enough for be unsustainable, like longer period, because when you make a longer, you not just make a for short time for like come on a specific hole, waiting that they mean they call it structural. So you make it becomes structural problem. So instead of transitory problem, it becomes structural. Instead of temporary problem, it become now long-term problem. So that's not the thing where they happen at that country day from the previous administration, and this administration self they go in that direction day. So let we continue with the article, and I go try for kind of wrap the article up and then ask people and for calling. So it said, with the government struggling to stabilize the value of the Leone against foreign currencies, the impact on prices for goods and services in the country is being felt across the country as the Ministry of Finance appears to be running out of ideas to control inflation. So this is another aspect. As I say, prices and plenty term, if you do something for stabilize the prices, and one easy tool we the economists them can get, and Salone unfortunately we not going to use that tool now interest rate. So waiting then get for do for like they reduce inflation, the prices then get for increase the interest rate. So then they slow people them for spend and for go to us and spend. So the problem with that is the way how the economy it go very slow. We see the numbers that we come out 2018 the economy grew slower than 2000 compared to 2017. So because of the rate at which the economy they grow very slow, so if you then do that, it will slow the economy even further if you increase interest rate. And I feel for the bank of the governor, because Salone too small. Salone now closed economy. So Salone not like America. America then can print money and fight the pump now the economy for fight any either recession or other things. Them they can just spend per roads, for example, and put people in back to work, and then people in pay taxes, and then it restarts the engine. Government can do that, and within short term, America then can print money because the dollar now international currency. But Salone no go just print money and try for solve the economic problems them. If we do that, it go even create more problem because the money go continue to be worthless, and then the foreign money go be so high. And remember, plenty of the things then where people and they use now Salone now import they import them things then they. So if the local currency worth less, waiting get for happen now, the price because of the thing the way that they buy bring kind of the country, not just Salone money that they use, now foreign money, so the price will be higher because the local money don't reduce, the value of the local money don't reduce, and at that day they go on at the country. So the tools them really the bank of Salone they almost run out of tools them, and the finance ministry as well. And to me, I don't say repeatedly, but again I go hold off on that as me take away part of the solutions to the issues here. I go kind of hold off on that in terms of the solutions. But clearly this they tell we say in terms of the economy, the country get the government get for do a lot for beef up the economy of that country. So the article continue for say, as a result, the MCC has given the government 16.9% for all its effort in controlling inflation. In promoting high standards of regulations in the country, the government scored 42%. The government's overall effectiveness in promoting justice was scored 40%, though it scored 58 in enforcing the rule of law, a sign perhaps of the massive delays in ensuring that court cases and election petition appeals are heard in a timely and fair manner. So within that they tell we, and we all know say the court system, we get boku things the way they go on with the court system, and we always they talk na VOS say let do not they put politics into a judiciary, and we they see some of them scores then they part the scorecard. It continues to say, in promoting land rights and access, the government is performing poorly with a score of 24% after recent and continuing reported cases of unfair and heavy-handed approach by the Ministry of Lands and Housing, which at times appear to threaten the peace and stability of communities. So this they also tell we, and when I go see them say this land issue not just something we start today. And I go show now in a moment the actual score for the land issue. And when you look at the score, you go know say that land issue, even the previous administration, they none no make any major impact on the land, like improvement in terms of the land issue at Salone. And in fact, Professor Kutubu and Madam Fadima, they beget a program 2 weeks ago where they invite two ladies then at the platform where they talk about some of the issues then the corruption where they face in terms of land business at Salone. So that's now another evidence where we say yes, the previous administration now we do very well in terms of solving the problem of land issues then at Salone, and this administration so far within the 17 or so months they still struggle with their assessment then with the land issues. So this is not something we knew, but let we move on and continue. We will try to conclude the report very shortly. The government scored an appalling 19% in promoting access to credit finance, a significant driver of private sector investments, jobs and wealth creation. So this is something we're very clear say in terms of how for give people and credit and stuff, and we don't say repeatedly on this platform how the government can go about that. Again, people then challenge me say I just talk no money give solution, but I give one solution where I go urge the government for look into how they go extend credit facility to average Salone person, particularly the people that they do in small business. Where they do that, it generate economic activities, and it can even be the engine for start the economic growth of the country. And it continue for say the government must do more for indigenous businesses and local entrepreneurs rather than relying on foreign investors. Let me read this part again. The government must do more for indigenous businesses and local entrepreneurs rather than relying on foreign investors. This is not something where I don't know if this person will write this article and they watch VOS, but not something where I don't talk several times. Say the government, particularly the president, it spend too much time for go out and they look for foreign investors. A need for focus on strategies for attract Salone people, Salone businesses. You get Boko people abroad, for instance, even at the country, we get money, but then just need that incentive. Because remember, let's say somebody want for take in retirement, money we don't put in a corner, or if they do business there, that business they go well and whatnot, they want for expand a Salone. If you give the proper incentive for let that person believe say if I do this it will be profitable. Remember, whether you're not Sierra Leonean, non-Sierra Leonean, white, black, whatever color you be, as investor, your primary objective now for let that money they generate more money for you. So meaning that you primary motive now for make profit. So if the incentive not there where you believe say you go make profit, you not go take that step there, even if you're not Sierra Leonean. But because of the Salone people then get more interest in the country, you need for encourage them, because now people where know the language where they talk, get for even try hard for influence them, because plenty of weekend they go holidays and things like that. So if they see improvement, then see incentives them, then go bring them money, then go carry the money go to Salone from abroad. So then you need for focus, and I always most times they challenge the president, say let it come and engage Sierra Leoneans them more. Not to just foreigners there, not to just the so-called foreign investors. Engage Sierra Leoneans them, appeal to them, give them reason why they forgo puts their money in a Salone. And when you do that, because America, for example, now small businesses, now they're not the engine of economic growth now that country there. And plenty developed countries them. Now Canada, for example, not to them big businesses. No, there's small business who that go able hire 10, 20, 30 people here and there, they add up. And by the time you know it, where, as I can say, where somebody gets employment, if not 20 people, when you pay them people and then that money where you pay them, then get for go buy things them, go now market, buy things them, buy uniform, buy other things them for them picking them. The people them where they buy them thing and they from, waiting go happen, they go buy more things them for push them business go before. And then self then go able make profit out of that profit then self get for take care of them, picking them and their family. So now the engine they start, and by the time you know it, more people that don't benefit from that original 20 people them will get job. So the more jobs you create, small jobs that you create, the more they multiply. And that multiplication we then call the multiplier effect, go start the economic growth. And where that's done be, and then see say people when are foreigners them, see say, you know what, you get people oh, the unemployment rates don't go down. You get more people now we get job na Salone. Then they come. So that by itself can be something where they drive them, because you don't put incentive in place where the local people and they benefit, the economic engine don't restart, and that foreigner, they out, they watch inside. And where is see them thing and they bring in products. And no say, if you make an Salone, people then go able for buy them, because they get job. So you see how it continue. So that, yes, now something where some man go say, oh, easy for talk, but no, they don't that's the way they apply in the advanced countries them, America, Canada, and whatnot. You either they talk about small businesses, incentives for small businesses and things like that. So this now another solution way, to me, I think say the president with the team they need for look into very closely. I'm not going to say let them forget completely foreign investors. No, but the president don't spend too much time. Rather than he look in backyard and say, how I go help me people them? How I go help business people in a Salone? How I go influence Sierra Leoneans for come back home and can invest? Now the thing and they, to me, I think say for spend more time thinking about, rather than they travel frequently for attract foreign investors. So as another bit I kind of say, I don't know if not coincidence, but that's something we don't talk severally in this program, and this article also the pinpoint on that. And the article continues for say, in protecting Sierra Leone's natural resources, the government does not seem to have a clear policy or direction. The destruction of forest reserves for timber logging and the cutting down of trees to make way for new roads and building construction is having a massive impact on the environment, with catastrophic consequences such as flooding and destruction of the ecosystem. The MCC report gave the government a score of 38% for its effort. So fumble them and then continue for make Naya, and I go read very quickly for let we finish this aspect. And for rates of immunization across the country, the government scored 48% and 21% for promoting child health respectively. This needs serious attention by the government. So that child health aspect, according to this article, say it needs serious attention. It is pointless spending millions of dollars in promoting free quality education for primary school children if their health is poor and survival rate from disease is low. And I believe say beaucoup people go agree with that though. Then you say health is wealth. So if you don't get well body, how you go school? So that's the article they talk now. Say if equally more important, according to this article, for take care of the pikin the health, for spend on health care. So the pikin will get well body, and when then go school, then go get sound mind for learn. So rather than you spend on the free education and then the pikin not get well body, so that's to, according to this article, not to the right way for go, not to that order the article they suggest for let the government spend. So the article continue for say, responding to the findings of the MCC report and its cause, President Bio is reported to be broadly pleased with the government's overall performance given its relatively short time in office, but said that his government will do more to improve in those policy areas they are performing badly. So this are gladly where the government recognized. And again, when you look out of 11 of the policy indicators, them they do well. So the government recognized that, but it also recognized the areas that we then do poorly, they need for backup. So the article now conclude with this paragraph. Say the government must up its game on the economy. If those employed to control inflation and stabilize the Leone against foreign currencies are struggling to succeed, then perhaps a change of leadership in the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Sierra Leone should be looked at by the president. There is no room for sentiments where the lives of citizens are at stake. So that's not the way they conclude this article. And this last part, we also be don't talk about VOS and say because of the bread and butter issue, the government need to do well, and I'll be showing us several indicators them before even the scorecard. I make it clear, some people then bash me. I say where it come by the economy, looking at the numbers them, looking at the indicators them, where for say yes an economy they do well, to me they're not favorable. Oh, people then bash, then call me APC and all that thing and they. But now this scorecard don't show the same. So again, when me they do me analysis and somebody be challenged me at one point, I tell them plain. I say me they go by waiting the president or other politicians then they say. Me they go by the numbers. Now the numbers then me they assess. And based on the numbers them, I not be see like say the economy they go in the right direction. I be making very clear, and from day one where the administration take office, I tell them say the first challenge, I tell them exactly say get for be inflation. If they radically take out that subsidy on fuel and also rest, the first challenge get for be inflation. And I go encourage you for go back during the time where I be assess that GTT report and former President Kuruma in handwritten note, a handover note, something like that. I make it clear, say yes, then kind of take over tough times, even though the economy be they grow, but they grow at a slower pace. But if they want for address the issues, then get for phase out, then subsidies, then they small. If they say then do them fast as our IMF they suggest, it will bring hardship na the country. And indeed, now that they happen so. So not to something where the economists them now go see very clearly. Anybody where do economics to advanced level go see say then they go create hardship. And on top of that, I not see the government do something where go try for stimulate the economy fast enough for like a waiting I go call mitigate, reduce the impact on that kind where they reduce, where they take away the subsidies. They not do that, because when you do drastic measure like that, you get for also radically do something where go stimulate the economy for reduce the impact, but they not do that. And at that day they come after them so. And if they not really try for put too much emphasis on the economy, because with economy, where you they do something, it take time. So you get within, like you get certain things the way they do, where within 6 months you go able to see the impact, small. But if you wait, the longer you wait, the deeper you they dig yourself into a hole. Because we get one thing what they call in economics, now something where I remember why we did graduate school, they teach you the impact. Now when you begin work, you begin use what we call proxy, because you not get proper measure. We go tell you confidence. That then get consumer confidence, then get producer confidence. If you do something where people then go lost confidence in the economy, for like you able influence people then for think positively and invest where then they go be a way for restart the engine. That confidence day, if President Bio not really take this economy seriously, for do something drastically for address the economic situation of that country, if investors them, I mean the domestic investors them, not the foreign investors them, if the business people in a Salone then continue for lose confidence in the economy, then put their money either bring come abroad or put on a bank, they reinvest, it go continue for put the economy down. And at that President Biono want that confidence. And it's very, very important. You know, even though we use different proxy, because the people are familiar with then kind of analysis here, then get what they call consumer confidence index, and then get producer confidence index. Now the indices then they use for estimate how people waiting people think about the economy. Unfortunately, we not get on a Salone, so now that more make it difficult, because they not get measure, we go gauge how much confidence people then get in the economy. It will be very difficult if President Bio not address this very fast. So Fambulem, that's not the article, and I want to say boku boku tenki. So the phone lines they're open now. So we go encourage you now calls them. While we wait for the calls, we go read comments them, and let we see how I go able to address them as they go. And Fambulem, I want again for say boku boku tenki to una all we don't join we for kind of mot on this issue. And again, I want to say boku thank you to all, and let I go to the comment section and read the comments them. Again, I stop at Alice Dixon, thank you, and Mustafa Toure, thank you. Say good evening to all. And I want to say boku thank you to Fred Johnson, sorry, he say hi, what's up? And Raymond S4, thank you, say good evening. And Sister Agnes Ulaima to Bangura, thank you so much for your join me. And Brother Ibrahim Soisi say thank you. And Capri Martin, thank you so much, Brother Martin, for your join me. And Combo Mana there, thank you so much for your join we. And Jenny Brema Fofana, thank you so much. And Sister Matilda, thank you so much where you join we. And we own Momodou Benus, thank you so much. We own Brother Richard Ngauja, thank you so much. You said the new direction is on track to transforming our beloved country, thank you for that. And Sister Matilda say so they did well in about 55% respected performance area. Thank you so much, Ice Baby, Bintu, thank you, Muktaru, Kaikai, thank you so much, and Kunku, King Komba, Amosa, thank you so much. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. And thank you so much, Brother Richard. He said, I hope the government will take advantage of the scorecard and improve on other areas where we got low scores. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brother Richard. And at that we safely expect, and at that make this program a try for make solution oriented instead of just bashing, because we need improvement big time. And Sister Isotudezi Kalon, thank you so much for your join we. And Amadeus Koroma, thank you so much for your join we. And Sister Matilda say that's why a lot of foreign and local are closing doors. And James Fofana, thank you so much. He say they to call it proper schooling or education. And we brother here P Thomas, thank you. He said they watch Down under, Chief, well done, thank you so much. And James Fofana, thank you. He said they need to call it okay. Fatu Kagbo, thank you. He said they watch from California, thank you. And Sister Matilda say too many ministries and DM and agencies. And I should say they talk about the higher salary where the government they pay. And Boloje, thank you so much for joining us. At least somebody explains, say the devil has no free lunch. Well, definitely, again, to me, nothing or they were free at all. And Almami Kanu, thank you so much for joining me. And Cyprus Eastman, thank you. Say good evening, VS family. And you say they watch, and to all the people who they watch around the world. And Cyprus say, if all the English country in West Africa have an economics problem, how will then them be part of 2020 economics program for the new eco currency? That's not a very good question, Brother Cyprus. I don't know how that is possible to work out. We don't deal with them. Say now one of the challenges then that, and I thank you for where you bring that up. And now one of the challenges that we definitely then get forget now where it comes to this particular process. Because for one of the things we get for look at very closely, inflation generally high in Africa, and inflation it put downward pressure on growth. And why I say that, and I be telling I say the main tool for fight inflation now interest rate, for increase interest rate. And when you increase interest rate, it affect investment, because the people away for go trust na bank or other place them for invest, then get for pay higher interest, and that they reduce them profit. If in fact they're not go end up for loss safe if the inflation so high where the interest rate for curb or for address the inflation, it get for be high. And for some of you where they follow politics as well, now one big area that we make Jimmy Carter, the former president of America, be or one time, because unemployment be so high, inflation be so high, so the Fed at the time do not be get no other option but for increase interest rate. So when they increase the interest rate, it even make the recession worse. And at that, now they then begin talk about that double dip recession, where the recession become and it then begin growth, then where the inflation go up, then push interest rate up, it force the economy for go back into a recession. So that double dip recession, it make the American people with always Jimmy Carter, but they do a lot of good things them, it make the American people unable to forgive them, because the bread and butter issue, the economy be so bad off, and Reagan end up for win. So now that's not the other thing where they appeal to President Bill, no need for take this economic situation lightly at all. In need for do, and again, I be don't talk now one program where I talk about the finance minister. It look like say able the economy of Salone, able turn them around, because as a matter of fact, yes, people always say, oh, the time too short. No, you get measures them where now what we call quick fix, where you don't need for spend too much money, all in the form of incentives. When you give incentives, you assure the you get tax breaks, even a part of the incentives for certain period, and say if you employ this many people, for example, I just give example now, because it in Canada, it in US, it in beaucoup developing countries them. If you say if you employ this many people them with a give tax break of this amount or this percent. So what in that they do, they incentivize the people them where they do the hiring, and that they create jobs. So all the incentives then they nothing them way the president can able do within 6 months if we don't see difference. But unfortunately, a focus on yes nothing we campaign on, but the timing it be wrong. according to wetin he say, he inherit the worst economy in since independence. Well, not true, by the way, but let me take from in words. So if that's not the case, you inherit that so-called economy where you say now the worst economy, why then you not concentrate on the economy? Instead, you do something we not get immediate stimulative effect. Now, long-term project you go take on, and then you forget about that short term. And like you an example to Obama, where Obama be take over, US be there in waiting and call the Great Recession. What did he do? He pump money and himself he make one mistake where then he pay for him dearly. He almost, if it be happen, say in my opinion, if not to be Romney, now somebody else, if will likely not get a second term. Himself, because of yes, he campaign on it, he say, oh, they are making people the wale doing it on healthcare. And healthcare now not gets that stimulative effect as other aspects them. So he spends so much time on healthcare, and as a result, the unemployment rate it jump from Usai Itika. So it begins struggle, and it take a while for like able to stabilize the economy because the priority, make the economy as a number one priority. It make that healthcare, and what it do, it for like it get let people then buy an argument. It therefore tie the healthcare argument with the economic growth. And that same thing the president Biode do. It tie the free education, quote and unquote, with economic growth, immediate economic growth. And that's not so true. Let's show now why. The free education, plenty of the things them, we they import them. Import in economics, now leakage. When you import, you they take the money, go help the people where they make them tin where they import. As long as you import finished product, if you import, let me say primary product, something where you they bring cam for make things then a Salone, that go generate growth, because now Salone you they make the finished product and then you sell them at a higher cost where go recover the money where you spend for the imported things them where you use for make the finished product. When you sell the finished product outside of the country, then you generate foreign income, foreign currency. But within the free education, plenty of the things them where people and they are like, oh, boss, they don't come again. This is not a political argument that they put now, now economic argument. Whether they are like, oh, boss, they don't come. This they don't come. Books them and all. Now import them thing and day. And when you import them, now money they pull from the economy of Salone for go help other economy. So now that's make we call them by economics leakage. So that leakage there, it pull from the economy. So it stimulate the economy at all. So for let you put down the front center and say, oh, it go stimulate the economy. No. It's very good where we picking them, then get access to school and stuff. But the impact, now long-term impact. So then long-term projects then you be want for phase them in a way that you not go put too much pressure on the economy. So when you do that, what we call you choke the economy. So you crowd out some of the impact where the private sector, if not, then you be spend the money on. I be don't give example now with them boss system. Them bosses then instead of the now example again not a political argument that they make now. Them bosses then instead of let's say the government we go buy them bosses then remember you get boku boss people people them where get boss them where they now then lots them for sale and stuff like that. Then they na Salone. So what thing you need for do is try for give that contract to private people them. So remember the boss then they already. So if you give the private people in that contract then go buy the boss there within a Salone. Where them use the bus they were in a Salone for transport the picking them and stuff. Waiting that they do. First, the money they left na the country because na thing that way they already in the country they use. And secondly, because of the private sector, what you they say you they pay them by the trip. Say okay, well I just want 2 trip na morning for transport the picking them, and after that we in the afternoon you do other trip and that. Then they're less costly than when you buy the bus them, because when you buy the bus them you get for now the government now get for pay the drivers them, now the government get for pay the people that we get the mechanics them, and now the government get for take care of any other things them where the bus require. So you see how the spending just they go up. But if you make the private sector where you they pay them per waiting them work, now in the happen now the advanced countries them, the people them where they see school bus them, if you not check, not a government they run their school buses then they. Now private sectors, the private sector, now people them where bid to government for the contract for the transport the picking them, now then they run their school bus then they. So now another way that way for be stimulate the economy. So plenty of them things here, but because of politics, oh now the government do this. No, not a government for do everything may fumble them. So let's continue with the comment. I just want for throw certain things them because people and they say me they give solutions. No, I don't give plenty solutions them now this platform, and I they continue as a Leonean. From my experience, I they give it in and they share with people waiting me know from experience. And again, I know they brag, but I sort of don't work for the Canadian government for quite a while, over a decade. So I get practical experience and I get the education as well. And again, I know they say are perfect, absolutely, but people in the Salone will learn past me. We know economics past me. But I don't know in terms of the practical experience, I sure say people in there. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to economics, let we know they put politics. When you put politics, and then they go well. So maybe they feel, say, the president for don't shift away from politics and try for bring things them where they stimulate the economy, and that way they, by the time you they say 2023, people don't see plenty of the things that we do. So, but where you change the priority, say, oh, this go give me a political score instead of stimulate the economy, it can be a challenge. So now, again, Baku people don't join we. So I'm not going to read all una comments then because we don't get much time again. Let us show una the actual scorecard, because again, I don't want the APC brothers and sisters them, let them see this as a victory lap, where then go, rather than we all think of solution, then go on for user for bash the government. No, not so. That's not the intention of this program tonight. So let us share with una waiting at the actual score for all the other things there too. Don't talk about decide that we don't do well and decide we don't not do well, but let me see from the previous time, let's say 2017, we then take over. If it don't deteriorate or it don't improve from that time day, so we go able to get things them into perspective. So let us show now the actual score, and I'm going to put the cursor around. Let us see the actual numbers them, and this now 2000 and when I see FY, I mean fiscal year. So 2020, so 2019 and 2020 fiscal year. Now in this report, this scorecard they represent. But let us show una see this now under President Bill, because the way how did they do them from November, this what we then do so now from November 2018 up until November 2019. Now that period did they take. So meaning that in entirety, this now President Bill in scorecard. On a member, where I go show now very shortly where Francis Ben Kelfala I be show the fiscal year 2019 scorecard, and it show let us show una the marks per corruption at the time, and waiting I tell them say wait, they scored in the not to the SLPP score or President Bio under President Bio. That score the now under former President Kuruma. So you know go fear for later victory lap. We not get any doubt. Say the number next year that's now go be higher than what you see so. So now this I be show. So una see waiting na ya the bottom of the control of corruption. The score, you see the date from 2013 up until 2017. Now the reference period that 2017. So President Biono be president yet, and at that I be tell Ben Kelfala. So now be 71%. But waiting we see now, we'll go say kudos to the government for that score day in terms of fighting corruption. This now the current score. So una see here, so the current score, and una look at the year. The year go now to 2018. So as of 2018, it go up from 71% to 79%. And clearly we need for give kudos to the government, because the fight against corruption, the control of corruption, that index there, it go up. And kudos to Ben Kelfala, to the president, where they fight corruption. So that one they will not for take them away from the administration. Now, let we go to the bread and butter issue. So I will go now through the indicators them small. All right, line by line. So now let me look at the economic indicators them. So if una look na ya, let reduce this one, so una go see the year, because I want that is very important for let we know the year. So if una look at the year, so the economic freedom, and part of the economic freedom, you get fiscal policy, where I be explained to now what it mean, and I go show now the definition what fiscal policy mean according to this result. Because again, I don't want to let people see and like say, oh, now Abdul Karim they interpret things wrongly. No, now we all the land, and again are not perfect, but the people and we believe say I get small understanding, so then go able benefit. I want to encourage them. So waiting I want for do, I want for go through the index. Waiting in mean, so that way the people and global get better understanding of waiting it really mean. So let we sort of go through that, and then let people understand waiting fiscal policy mean, because with that it will help we big time for understand waiting in mean. So now I go show una waiting that they do. So on a go see them. So we dey click on now select indicators. We click on that, and then it show we the different indicators them. Or they go now to the fiscal policy indicator. So we click on them, let it tell we the description of this fiscal policy indicator. So what did it say? This indicator measures the government's commitment to prudent fiscal management and private sector growth. Prudent. People that we don't know it, don't know it's not prudent, like something where you go say effective, careful fiscal management, effective fiscal management. So then gets now the relationship to growth and poverty reduction. So I go read them very quickly. On sustainable fiscal deficits, when I remember I talk about deficit, Unsustainable fiscal deficits can impact economic growth by raising expectations of inflation or exchange rate depreciation. Fiscal deficits driven by current expenditures decrease national savings and put upward pressure on real interest rates, which can lead to a crowding out of private sector activity. In addition, fiscal deficits either force government to increase tax rates, reducing the capital available for domestic investment, or to increase the stock of public debt. High and growing levels of public debt have also led to financial and macroeconomic instability in many countries. Taken together, these factors decrease labor productivity and wages, thereby increasing poverty. So, Fambulem, that's not the description of fiscal policy, and also then give we the relationship to growth, economic growth, and poverty reduction. So where they say, let we be careful, let we hold the government accountable. If they continue for they spend more than waiting that they bring, it cause poverty. It increase poverty. Some people accuse me, oh, you know APC, you know this. This not to me say more. This not the people that will land past me. Then give na the relationship and exactly how I describe them, that the same way they describe them. The way I be done they describe them, that the same way they describe them. Say if we deficit become unsustainable, it put hardship because the money where we for take for do other things them, spend on healthcare, spend on other things them, that part of that money that we get for use for the pay them debt here, where will they go take? And waiting that they mean. It they mean say the government not go able to do waiting is supposed for do for push the country go before. So now the connection that they show we. So now we don't know within our fiscal policy, the connection between fiscal policy, economic growth, and poverty reduction. So let we go now to the scorecard and see how the president within team, this administration, score in terms of fiscal policy. Let we see within at the scorecard. Me fumble them. Let's show now. According to the 2020 fiscal year, Millennium Corporation, Challenge Corporation, look the score. 2018, 4%. And when you look the 5 years where they measure since 2014, now the worst fiscal policy this at Salone. And again, this is not a party business, so I make a show now force waiting a fiscal policy. The description, how the website describe them, and when I remember the article where I show, it show the ambassador, the American ambassador to Salone, where he go give President Bill this particular report, the scorecard. And part of the scorecard, 4%. And waiting now be the last year, where under former President Koroma, waiting now be the score, 15% in 2017. So again, I don't want for like the APC brothers and sisters say, yes, it was. And again, now that's make I not like where politicians them they use adjective them for describe the other party, where in fact the adjectives then they're not correct. Remember, President Bill say he inherit the worst economy since independence. So in your fiscal policy now the worst since they start for gather data regarding the score. So if in 2017 he inherit the worst economy since independence, and now he get the worst fiscal policy, the worst economy according to the score. So what did it tell we? If 2017, you inherit the worst economy since independence. So you now will say since when? Because clearly 15% you compare, even though it definitely appalling. Now make another the APC fumble them, then take a victory lap now. Because when you look the previous years, since 2013, we see so red. So red. So meaning that the fiscal policy, since then begin put this measure together, the scorecard, Salone will not be get any sober fiscal policy under President Koma and now under President Bio. But the good thing is, the encouraging thing is, I always like for put silver lining where I do my analysis. The silver lining here, President Bio get more time. He get time for turn things around. But until he pay particular attention to the economy, he do a shake-up. Because to me, it look like saying economic teams, they not get their acts then together. People and they say 17 months. No, 17 months, now enough time for turn things around. Not for let things then deteriorate. But because you know pay particular attention to economic activity for grow the economy, and concentrate on long-term things instead of first in any economy. The advice whether they give you get short-term measure, medium-term measure, long-term measure. But what did President Bio do? It goes straight to the long-term measure, and it disregard the short-term measures them way for at least stabilize the economy. But again, as I say, if they get their acts together, then we will do a turnaround. But people them were always the talk party, APC, SLPP. This not something where look at during APC time. The economy not be they do well in terms of the policy. Remember, not to just economic growth that you say the economy they do well. No. Now a combination of things them, including the deficit. And at one time, I say, when you look at it was 2013 or so, Salone be they go in double digits the economy, up to 20%. But even with 20% growth, we still get deficit. We still get deficit. So how we not go? How we go to come out of poverty? Where the economy they grow that strong, but yet you still they spend lots of them 10 and day when things then good for you. Lots of them 10 and day for keep, if you're able to get surplus. But no, you still get deficit. So dear, under President Koma, let me not tell we say things then be better. Things do not be good at all. But now things do not worse. Under President Bio, within the first 17 months. No question about that. The numbers then they show. So now let we go to other indicators then, because we don't get time. And for some reason, I don't know if it's heavy for people that will not receive any calls yet, but we go encourage people then for call. But let me go to other indicators then, fumble them. Because you know, if we not talk to now we country, that country they it go act for let it go before if we not talk to, because people them then just put them party before the country, and that's completely wrong. Like them kind here 4%, the worst economic policy according to this indicator, the worst economic policy. But yet we they say, oh Lord, give them time, Lord, give them time. Really? If at all they be say, Lord, give them time, they're not for bullet index here. So President Bio and the finance minister and the bank governor are not feel say as an economist, una go impress me, una go convince me and tell me say definitely this whole thing una dey na the right track. I don't think so. So Fambulem, let us take a quick commercial break and maybe give people enough time for call in, and then I will come back and finish the analysis as we dey run out of time. So I will come right back after this commercial break. We fumble them. Una stay tuned.
You can be my brother. You can be my friend. Have you been looking for a place to get quality education but don't know how or where? Canadian College of Modern Technology, situated at 1 Silicon Hills, Mile 91, opposite former Camp Charlie, is the right place for you. Canadian College of Modern Technology, an affiliate of Jala University, is a fully accredited college with a Tertiary Education Commission (TEC) and a National Commission for Technical, Vocational and Other Academic Awards (NCTVA). We provide world-class tertiary education in computer science, business administration, mass communication, business information technology, Microsoft Server Administration, networking, database administration, building and construction, and other professional courses. Apart from its conducive environment, which makes it suitable for learning, Canadian College of Modern Technology is proud of its experienced local and international staffs. Come and experience a transformational learning environment, fully equipped with CCTV cameras, a world-class electronic library with the latest iMac computers for collaborative learning and research, and access to high-speed internet service throughout the campus. And guess what? Canadian College of Modern Technology is the first college in Sierra Leone to operate the first educational purpose-only television and radio station for its mass communication students. Come and be part of this historic experience. We have reserved a space for you. You want to know more? CCMC provides 24 hours electricity from a solar harvest power supply system with a backup generator. This highly secure campus also have a canteen, student hostels with clean pipe-borne water. Canadian College offers many more amenities for our students to help make learning a good experience. For more information, contact us on these numbers: 079 630 407 or 099 140 208. If you want to succeed, Canadian College will exceed your expectations. Canadian College of Modern Technology, a place where career begins.
All right, Fambulem, Una, thank you again. We get the first caller. Let me take this call and I will come and talk about more other things then. I will not get much time, but we'll kind of push them for another 10-15 minutes. VS Network, hello caller. What's your name and who say they call from, please?
This is Ibrahim Sisse call from California. How do you do?
They do well, Mr. Sisse. Thank you so much for what you join. And what's your take on this millennium scorecard? MCC scorecard.
Well, thank you when you bring this car up, because it's a very important subject for picking at interest in. And I really appreciate when you take your time to break and down, able to analyze them for we, even for lady layman, we understand. If you look at the image, the photo, why not the American ambassador for who presents that card, to the president? And I wonder why up to today, because it's not diplomacy. That's not a reminder for tell you say, hey, you get for up your game, because this, much as people and they celebrate them, but you got a lot of fixing for do. And I wonder with people like in the likes of JJ Safar, we get a very enviable background as far as the economy, and from a reputable institution. I graduate from Harvard. So people let me expect much from them. Say at least with Danny under in belt, if I be able to help fix the economy. But not to that we see, and every day, and something and they then they are not so very complex to them. You look at the basics, we'll go school, learn small boy economics. You know within a scale of preference and opportunity cost. They apply in every case, even now since a private and personal life. Same way so in a business. You dey look at all the things there, you go get 10 or 20 things that were important. But you got to look at the most pressing. We're going to make that immediate return because the people, they need a return on investment. What's not a return on investment? Now, waiting they expect of the government with them putting up power for able to do. So if the government they misstep continuously and then not take a break and look at what they go wrong for letting correct them, I think they will continue to be unpopular, and that's not good for the people in the country. I've seen any bad of all the time. So the government, if they have to do reform and for them not without delay, so that they will able to fix things them up and make the country, recover and resuscitate the economy so that the country will go back before. And I've been saying this before. You go to portion 20% or 20-something% to education. You don't deprive the other important areas them as well of the oxygen where they need for survive. So that's not a very bad policy, Danny. So if that continue, education, like how you say, you need to bring that immediate return. Now long term, investment, Danny. Long term a goal. You need a short term goal for lubricate the long term. You see, so employment, jobs. That feels the government for focus more on job creation and all that. So that's me gets for contribute. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for that contribution. Let we take another call. Thank you. VOS Network. Hello, caller. Waiting on your name and who say the call from, please.
Hello, sir. Good evening. I'm CEO watching your program, and you teach me a lot, and thank you so much. First of all, congratulations to the anti-corruption team in Afriton and the vision of the president, because, it's care for fed corruption. But you made a point that I want to ask a question. You said that during the APC term, the economy been the boom. What's in the reason where the economy was it good policy, or was it because we've been just come on a war? People and they give donation and loan. And then also during that time, was in that time they buy, construction was big in the world, and they buy all the mineral, they will get there, I don't know, whatever, for make all the construction material them. So was that not the reason why APC been the boom? And then the other question, what can this government do? So if they say they cut taxes, then give incentive, and then bring team them, we go stimulate and jump kick the economy and give a little bit of life, because the bread and butter issue is the problem of the people. And some people, like I say, they go buy, they get the education. Education is very good. But if you don't spend, because I think you've been talking on that day one time where you say they spend so much money on education, and then all the other, I think the other caller talked about transitional back, all the other sectors of government kind of not a function right, because all money don't go for this education, this President BOA baby, the education, free quality education. So is it not time for them to come back to the drawing board and can sit down and say, okay, where are we going wrong here? Because some of these people that they call themselves economists, they have had all these credentials, but they're not applying it and not they work. So can they sit back and call people for let them come and can try to see what are we doing wrong and how we go fix this, because it is not getting better, it is getting worse. Like I say, it gotta get worse before it gets better, because I know you make that comment a long time ago where you can teach them for explain to me, but people come, they attack us, they attack say, or because you this, you that, but people are learning, because this kind of stuff where they give, so let we understand this is the situation, not bashing anybody, but what are we going to do to fix it? And then some people still, they make comments there on the page, just talking, like they go against, the president or the government. No, we're trying to fix the problem, because we are all Sierra Leoneans. We're trying to see here, because some people can have all the credentials in the world, they don't get the experience, they're not walking a certain side them, where get the experience, when they do what in and do. So sometimes you have to bring other people and there are many Sierra Leoneans that have so much knowledge knowledge, that have all this good waiting and call, put them all on the table, call all Sierra Leone and economics and people then we don't do financing. Call them all together and put the brains together and let's see how we'll solve the problem. That's all I just want to say. And good job. Keep it up. I'm proud of you. And kudos to Sierra Leone. At least we jump up we jump up the scale, and that is good. Thank you so much, sir.
And thank you so much, Sister Fadima. Madam Fadima, you ask a great question. And this, now that then can say, I think people in Kintalk and Pakrio say you did the right place at the right time. So in terms of that growth, and we see according to this score, the policy of the administration, yes, there be, I think at one point there be cut taxes and stuff, but that way where they be they spend, excessively. And then they self-stifle growth at one point, and at that we they pay for now, where the money where they pay towards that deficit for basically waiting and call for manage the debt, like that debt servicing. So you find out say they go up and up and up and up, and now when this government come, that money they still get for continue for the pay for manage then debt than the way the previous administration left. But in terms of the economic growth, a combination of the factors that where you talk about during that 10 and day, the world at large be they expand. Like you be get boku demand for the thing that way we get, like that rutile and all the other things them where be they boom at the time. So the world be they look for expand. You be get boku infrastructural spending and things like that. And remember that after the 2008 recession, 2007-2008 recession, one where most of the developed countries then be see for come out of it now for spend in investment in infrastructure. So that infrastructure spending, it come at once all over the world. The advanced countries then be engaged in that kind of spending. They forget themselves out of that deep recession. So Salone now be beneficiary of the global demand for we minerals them. So the Koroma administration benefited from that. So with the high demand, and not be take much at all for let you see growth. Be then as Salone, because we get things them where the world be really ready for. So you find out, say, that somebody talk about, say, some of the industries then parking and left. Now, because of like that rutile and plenty other places them were closed, the demand be go down. So the people will be they run them place, then they not be they get profit. So as a result, they left. So yes, President Bill take over where then tin and they all cascade. Absolutely, no question about that. But for saying that the worst economy since independence, the economy be they grow at that time. So the rate at which it be they grow be don't slow, because of the global demand be also don't slow. So yes, now a combination of the factors the way you where you talk about. I hope that they answer your question. But when we look at the scorecard now, we see from 2013 up until 2018 now, when under President Bill, Salone fiscal policy, particularly the way we handle deficit, we just the trust. We just they trust, and when we trust, then they put on something where go better the country, where go stimulate the economy. We they see them projects the way that they engage in, and then projects then they spend, they even overprice things them, all that. And now we don't get the debt, and definitely we get for the service then debt then they reduce economic activities. So I hope that they answer your question. So let me go to the next call, and we'll take 2 more calls if more people are there on the line before we wrap up. VOS Network, hello caller, what's your name and who say they call from, please?
Hey, manager. Concern Salone from Australia.
Hello, Concern. Thank you so much for your call. And what do you take on the scorecard, please?
The scorecard, in the first place, is very important for the fact that this is not a non-biased analysis and research by experts them, not to national research. This is not international research. So a non-bias. So that's the good thing about this course. So if we get for the measure the performance of any government in Sierra Leone, we get for rely more on this scorecard than some of the research them or data as the way researchers are free on they do. We to me most time can be so biased, or they can report. So this one, the blessing is if we want to measure the performance of any government in Africa, more particularly Sierra Leone, if we focus for analyze like I do am so for analyze this data because a non-bias. And in fact, this data gets something attached to them when an incentive where they make sure say anybody will get a certain performance or certain scores could benefit about $44 million from the United States government. So that they tell you say this is a reminder also like how you talk about how for actually promote the indigenous the way they do business. You get for give an incentive. Now the same way the American government they give an incentive to countries the way they reach at this where they use this scorecard for give an incentive for perform well in terms of democracy, human rights, and the health and give services to the people. So the first call and talk say, why this the American ambassador go give this scorecard from Julius Bio and I like now for tell and say you for do more. So what about if me argue say now congratulations, Sierra Leone don't reach the mark for benefit from the $44 million of the United States government incentive for people who they score certain grade in this performance. So yeah, it's what side the government get for focus on. Who side will not do well, make them lay emphasis. At the same time, men will not relent on who side the higher scores the way they don't get. Because they most time again they continue for focus more and relent on who side they don't score more. If they find out say the coming report, you go find out say they go slide down low. So we not go want that. We want along the trend, men them continue for go up, men not continue for go down. So make them do that simultaneously. Men not relent. Who said they don't get success? Who said they gain success? Make them continue for gain success. And who said they get less success? Make them lay more emphasis. We not go and see a drop. We want to see a hike from who said we get a drop. Now that's my main contribution. Thank you very much.
And great contribution. Thank you so much, Brother Concern. And let we go to the next caller. Thank you. God bless. VOS Network. Hello, caller. What's your name and who say they call from, please?
My name is Sime Muchamos. Hold on, let me get you off the speakerphone, okay? So I can speak properly. Hello?
Yes. So
yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Kabu. My name is Sime Muchamos. I come from Virginia.
Wonderful. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr.
Yes.
Thomas, please.
I just made a comment on you on your blog as Ahmed C. That's my name again. But what I was trying to say, I mean, I just got back home from work and I was just flicking through my phone and I got your program. I said, let me just listen in. And which you they say makes perfect economic sense. Only to a perfect economy like Canada where you worked. Okay, and I'll tell you why. We're dealing with, this is an economy where President Bill inherited an economy mad with chronic corruption, people who've lost integrity. Education is like third grade. Everything is rubbish, rotten. Now, how do you apply all the things you're saying to an economy like that? What you're asking for is a band-aid to a chronic problem. It will fix something for the short term. Yes, we will get some, it will make things nice, look fine on the top. But at the bottom, things will continue for good before they rotting and rotting and rotting. Now, what President Bill is trying to do right now is to clear up all that rot, all that corruption, clear all these messes around, and therefore put the proper things in place. This is not the thing with President Bill do. Now, you cannot underestimate the work the ACC is doing. You cannot, yes, we're stealing money right now. We're bleeding money right now. And it's true. President Bill they invest on income generating units. Perfect sense, like you're saying. This makes perfect sense. In a perfect economy, what it should be spending on things that will generate income to boost the economy. Well, how do you do that on an economy that is so rotten that all the things that should be in place to accommodate all these things you're talking about, everything is rotten. The country is mad by country, and I don't blame people. I must make this clear, though. I don't subscribe to any political party. You know, in fact, I was supporting Dr. Y during the elections. But I see where President Bill is coming from. You know, and you cannot blame the everyday Sierra Leonean. They go work government or they pay you. You cannot also come into picking angry, then somebody bribe you, go take them, you go take them. It's not their fault, though. It's not. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right, but I understand why people did what they did, and why people become accountable. These people have been deprived from education for so long. The only things people know now in Salone, now how for put here and make things work. You come home, you feed your kid. Now, one thing when one of the callers and the lady that I think either before me or somebody, I don't know if somebody speak before me because I'm waiting at the line for talk. But a lady mentioned something. They asked a question, say, this economic development we talk about during President Bill and President Koma in time. Was it actual economic growth or was it monies that aid donors then give? Most of that money ended up in by Koma in government official in pockets anyway. Look at the Ebola funds. Look at the economic. Look, IMF had to put hold on our credit, right? Just before the election that came out, IMF had to put a hold on it because this man and his government people, they were just having a party. Everything was rotten. Everything was damaged. So President Bill had to. Unfortunately, it's easy for me to say this because I just go back from work. I have a job to go to. I just go back from work. It's easy for me to say. For the Sierra Leonean people who have to wake up every morning, don't even know where the next meal is coming from. It's tough. It's difficult. And APC will not even waste 1 second to amplify these cries and make President Bill look bad. But these are the things President Bill unfortunately had to put in place to clear up all that rot. And put things in place so that what you talk now will have a proper footing for Sierra Leone for go before. Okay,
wonderful, me brother. Thank you so much. The reason we make the buzzer go off because you don't pass 3 minutes, but you say something a lot like the IMF where you refer to. The reason we make IMF suspend the money. Now, the main reason we then get, according to the press release, they say because the government no do the subsidy, do not take away the subsidy where they ask them for take the subsidy on fuel and on rice. And you know, former President Koma, he used a political tactics for deliberately a look between during that time. If it be doing probably I strongly believe say APC not for be do as well as them do if it be doing, because if that's the immediate effect, the hardship for be immediate if it be happened within a month, just like how it happened at Salone, where President Bill take out the subsidy. President Bill now him, in fact, like I be say, I be don't do a program where now the first question that I ask them, if then go take out the subsidy right away, like all of it at once. If then do that, it will create hardship. I be make a very clear.
It will. It's the same thing because to fix the problem for good, there's going to be a phase of hardship, unfortunately.
Yeah, but where you say, as I say, when you say you inherit that kind of challenging economy, you need to start with long-term project. Then they completely wrong. I give example to Obama. Obama triumph, it almost cost him in second term. Because in the work, the people them want something at the table right now. So you kind of do somebody say, oh, we tire with short-term fix. You not get for tire with it. Then call them stabilization mechanism. You get for stabilize force before you think of expansion. So, but you not go say the team still they bleed, then you are expand. No, wrong strategy that. And I know they completely blame President Bill, but what they say is it put politics first before the economy, because that free education, and they say quote and unquote, it's all political for score political point, and we're not there in any campaigning mode. So you need for first do short-term fixes, and then you think of medium term, and you think of long term. You know, people the way they talk say this free education, if I don't phase them, that was correct, because you're not going to need for spend all the money at once. You get for spread them. You stabilize the economy.
But again, just like I was saying, people are used to this thief. Right now, what we're dealing with is we understand that most of the things, money doesn't go, direct money, physical money doesn't go into people's hands directly anymore. You see, that's one way of fixing the problem. Because what was happening in the previous government, that people did so much money, which was not even ours. These were borrowed monies or donated monies that was going through individual pockets. Then they're going to give people in just like we seen at the election.
Yes, and Boku Sierra Leoneans, even though, and again, the part where I go agree with you is, we very much know say misappropriation be happen. Like the way where they give contracts, they not scrutinize them and stuff like that. A very ineffective way for run a government. But the fact of the matter is, me not get any and I support the Commission of Inquiry 100%. And the other thing that we have to say, the president of we don't involve too deeply into the commission inquiry, the fight with APC and stuff. It doesn't pass on the parliament. Let's just move on. Let it concentrate on who governing. Let that politics, because you find out say dan they safe. It drain the country, because tourists them, whether they see them thing and they discourage. So all them thing and they are part of governance. So I think President Bio is allowing himself for concentrate too much into politics rather than for helping the Sierra Leoneans them. He get 5 years. And I don't make it repeatedly, whether people elect him or not, the people them of Salone don't give him the mandate. So you don't need for wait for approval from APC or any other party. The people that don't get the mandate, and former President Koma don't hand over the staff. That's for end of story. Enough for again go too deep into politics, politicking and all that thing and as I say no more, it happened with Obama. And we all see how he struggle, if not to be Romney. In fact, the people that will watch that debate, Obama not talk too much about the healthcare. But because of Romney be done Durham now Massachusetts, so he not to be the right person for condemn Obamacare. But he spends so much time and resources on Obamacare, so much that the economic activities them, they forget about stimulating the economy. So that cost them. And even cost them both houses. So that's an example, and plenty of the examples then they all over the world. But for some reason, politicians then can take the electorates then for granted, and as a result, then can say, "Oh, I don't campaign on this." The people then give me the mandate, so I they push with them as the first thing and try for score political point. That's completely a wrong strategy. But thank you so much, my brother. I'll take one or two more calls. And you make great point. But to me, at the appeal as a Sierra Leonean, at the appeal to the president and his team, let it try for reset the fiscal policy where they put in place and let it work. And of course, we don't see the numbers them, and people then they say, "Oh, na propaganda," but no. You look at several reports them, and quite recently I read another report where the Minister of Economic Development put out about poverty, say the poverty rates don't go up. So all the indicators then they're not good, and all the point on economic activities. So in terms of corruption fight, 100% I agree. And anybody will misappropriate the Salone funds, it need for be dealt with. Absolutely. But enough for be the only fight. So now that's me what for say. Enough for be the only thing we go distract the government. Government, you get boku branches. So you get for handle the economy as much as you they put so much emphasis on fighting corruption. Because at the end of the day, in the president be yourself talk during the campaign and during the time where they do debate. It say the Salone people them not to infrastructure that they eat. Where Samura talk about the roads where they don't build and where they don't make and all that thing and they. It say it said the people and care about the bread and butter issue. So now we sit on there, waiting change. Now when you they say, oh, the bread and butter issue not for be primary. No, it's supposed to be primary. Because people then need for get first them bread and butter before they think about anything else. But thank you again,
you're welcome. You're welcome. So I'll hold you too long on the phone.
Yes, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, let me go to maybe the last call for tonight. VOS Network. Hello, caller. What's your name and who say they call from, please? VOS Network. Hello, caller. What's your name and who say they call from? All right. Well, I think for whatever reason that person able to come through, but I want to say I want to use this opportunity now for close. I want to say baku thank you to we all where they put the country first, and I don't get no question. President Bill loves Salone. I don't get no question about that. But the difference is even people arguably. I go say the same thing for former President Anesco. I don't get no question say he loves Salone. The reason we make us say that, Boku leaders them. Again, this I know Leone push them into politics. Boku leaders them now Africa, waiting they used to. We then done again the accusation. Say it don't loot the country and stuff like that. We not get no proof of that yet. Me not see any proof it. But Boku leaders them after we they don't rule. What thing did they do? Did they go by us now the developed countries, then go tap the, then go into what we will call self-exile. Former President Koma, what did he do? He go to your hometown. He build yours. He sit on there. So that to me, I want to for comment them for. And again, I go commend from late President Kaba. So let we continue for the see this. Because if then they're in a country where they don't well, then go regret. And the one then where they come after them, and I hope that President Biosef where he in 5 or 10 year term done, in first or second term done, he go stay in the country. And that way they waiting it go mean is then go begin to see the legacy. See really they happen. So I want let them concentrate on legacy. Otherwise, this go continue. So to me, now one thing that way I want to give kudos to the previous former President Koma. But in terms of handling the economy, I don't say repeatedly. It was appalling. If I go borrow the word way they use another report. We all don't see that. And I don't show now severally. So people will go on for see this, for bash the current administration. The previous way you look at the scorecard, reds, for people that will just join let us show now that scorecard again. In terms of the score, where you look at the fiscal policy, where they do now, where people and they make like for push the country go before. So I just want for show now that back. We wanna see this. Yes, now the 2018 score now the worst, but look at the scores them. Red, like negative, like you look at it, where we're below the median. So we not foresee this as victory for any political party. So rather, if it be a wake-up call for Sierra Leone, for let we politicians them do something, put politics aside, govern, put policies them in place where it go help. And this now another indicator, the regulatory quality, like regulations. When I look at that back, look at the score. The current administration fail. The previous administration also they fail. So now that's make us say, for let we not take this out of context, let we compare the previous administration to the current administration. The previous administration under this indicator, they fail. And now, as of 2008, under President Bio, it failed. So now trade policy, when you look, let I put the cursor on, I go see the 2017, 2018, 2019, now the same. So meaning that the trade policy is encouraging because they pass. So President Bio, it continue for pass as former President Koroma. So this we go say because it sustained the good trade policies, we go say kudos. But in the previous administration, they self relatively, I use the word loosely, because when you look the score, then compare with the median, we then look at other countries them. The median, we score above them, and at that make we pass, because the comparison are now the median. So you look at the gender in the economy. So we only get 2018 and 2019. So this is a new thing to them. But look at the other aspect where Boku Sierra Leoneans then they complain about land rights and access. 2016.58, 17.58, 2018.58, 2019.58, and the projection for 2020 were fiscal year slightly above 0.58. So meaning that from the previous administration to now, they're not able to address land issues in other country. And we all know, I mean, read one article where the right say, if the government not address the land issues then as Salone, the land issue as Salone, it will be another area where it will cause destabilization. Will cause the country for be unstable. And Boku people ain't gonna agree with that. Because land corruption, it all over the place. So this again for be a wake-up call. The previous administration able Andulam, so dear President Bill, you still get slightly over 3 years for fix this. Dear, next year let we see better scores on the land rights and access issues na Salone, because the land business it don't pass mark the corruption day. So dear, let we address that as well. So again, let we go to access to credit. So let we not throw stone at the current administration. When you look, the line is straight, all in red. You look, all in red. So from 2016 up until the current fiscal year, where they measure, all in red. Salone people are not able to get access to credit. And business people that we all know say credit na key for expand your business. And I be don't give solution as to how the president go about it, and I go urge him for like a go back and rethink. Because if the president, as Naya did they do, if the government stand as a guarantor, waiting and can call say in the basically stand it stand with the person where they go take the loan with the bank. So they do Naya student loan. Student loan, for people that will know that student loan scheme, how will they work? You take your student loan, you go school, the government get a scheme where first term, they don't change it slightly, but first term, you they go through the bank. So the bank, they lend you the money, and then the government, while you're in our school, the government, they pay the interest on that loan day. When you finish school, then you 6 months, then you they begin paying now with interest. Now, so that scheme they work. And I explained so they can do something similar for extend credit facility to Sierra Leoneans, then particularly people that were done there in business already, but then just need small additional capital for expand. So you, the government, suppose for guarantee their loan then they Say, okay, well, trust them. In the meantime, I'm going to pay the interest till after a certain period where the business don't boom, then go take over now. They pay the principal plus the interest. So what you don't do? You don't extend credit facility to that average salon person, that average business person. And you do all the incentives then they. You get poor people away want go back na the country or na the provinces for go farm. But guess what? Then go tell you say, oh, they not get this, they not get that, they not get all that thing and day. You the government get for step in. And make sure say you give them people an incentive for go back, go engage in farming. And give all the incentives then they, and they're not expensive compared to where the government want to do everything. The government not going to do everything. You need for allow the private sector for come in and help the government. Where you don't expand the pie, waiting gets for happen now, more people are going to pay taxes and then you increase the tax base. So you go even get more revenue when you do that. So the other score, the business startup. So if you check, not just continuation of the previous policy. So which is good. So this, the business startup, is different though from the number of period where you they take for register, the ease of doing business. That's now another indicator. Where at one point I don't show now because of time, I'm not gonna go through that again. But the ease of doing business, Salone they do well. How easy it be for open a business, for do business na Salone. We still get challenged in that regard. So I will call on the administration. Yes, this na encouraging score will pass for business setup, startup, sorry. But for easy where people and cable start business, we need for improve on that. The ease of doing business na Salone for be improved according to the other indicator. So let's quickly go through the other one them. So political rights. So the political rights from 2014 we scored 28, 2015 28, 2016 28, 2017 28, and 2018 28. So the people and where they say, oh well, this government they trample on the other party and stuff. According to this indicator, it tell we say in general, are they kind of talk about the general, not to just one or two pocket accusations, but in general, there's no difference from the previous administration to this current administration. So the previous administration, where it comes to political rights, the previous administration they do relatively well, and now according to the scorecard, the current administration they do relatively well as well. So in terms of civil liberty, we see the current administration pass Naya. So in 2016, the score was 38, 2017 38, 2018 37. So slight reduction, but relatively then pass. So in terms of civil liberty in general, if we go take the scorecard, we go say kudos to previous administration and the current administration because of the pass in terms of the civil liberty. Again, this compared to the median. So again, let me go to corruption. Of course, no question, we see the corruption. So in terms of the score, now 0.27, where that it translates into 71%. The last time, 2017, and this time now 0.36, and it translates to 79%. So kudos to Mr. Ben Kelfala with the administration for control corruption in the country. So the other part is the effectiveness, government effectiveness, and this now one way we all as Sierra Leoneans for put a little bit of pressure on the current administration because we don't see. It's all red. So since 2014, Salone they struggle for see effective government. Now that's the score they tell we. Say the current administration fail. So meaning that they're not effective. So we people in way they try for make excuses I use the word loosely. Excuses, rather than face the situation head on, tell the administration, say, certain aspect, don't they do well? Rather than just blanketly they blame. But you look at this, the previous administration, according to this scorecard, the previous government not be effective, and the current government not effective. So in terms of government effectiveness, we fumble them now failure. So again, for people them way, I will take a little bit of time after we had already the other two scores them. Let we go and see what's involved in terms of government effectiveness. So then they go give me a better understanding where we they argue for both APC, SLPP, because for some people them it's all politics, nothing about the country. So this go give me a sort of eye opener. This go be eye opener for we. It go give we a cautious note. Say the previous administration, if we look at the score in terms of government effectiveness, they be fail, and this current administration in terms of government effectiveness, they fail. So the rule of law, you look at 2017, 0.17% score, and then 2018, 0.22. You go up slightly. But the previous administration be passed, and this administration be passed. So we still get a whole lot for do. But for right now, relatively, we go say pass. So in terms of the freedom of information, and we see now in 2017, 27%, 2018, 26%, 26 score, sorry, and 2019, 26. So compared to 2017, we see slight reduction in the score where it comes to freedom of information. But overall, we go say a pass for the administration where it comes to freedom of information. So we know say we get a lot more for do, and waiting President Bill be talk where he say that libel law don't table a bill na parliament for let them go address some. I go say if it do that, then they go bump in score big time where it come to freedom of information. So I really want for say that and let people are aware. But the fact of the matter is, Naya Sierra Leoneans them, this not something where we foresee. Overall, because out of 20 indicators them, the government do well 11 of them. When you compare this administration to the previous administration in terms of the scorecard, fumble them, let we see how they do really. Because we want to make sure say we do that comparison there as well. Because again, I emphasize say we get for be truthful now. Let we not put party business aside. Let we see them as we see them, as the numbers they show. So when you look at how the numbers they show, you go see that let us show una the overall. So 2000, the current index or the current scorecard, half of the scorecard pass. So, and again, control of corruption, then pass. The democratic right, then pass. So let me go back to the previous one. So you look at the previous one. So half of the scorecard fail. And then control of corruption then pass because now be 71%. You know, people in the Allah, the last time where I be show this where Mr. Ben Kelfala become we platform, people then say there is no way. Some man even says a mistake and stuff. Why would they do that? Where if favor una say, oh, na the right thing, na the best indicator and stuff. Where not favor una say na mistake. Not to be mistake. It showed clearly 71% in 2017. So some people then go say, me particularly go say, maybe in a leading to the election, former President Koma do put measures them, do something for reduce corruption. for control corruption. I go say sometime now during the election, he motivated for do that. For let's say Leoneans then say yes, it fight corruption. But before that, it not be score well. It be fail in terms of control of corruption. So that's not something where and democratic right it pass. So if you look at the scorecard, you get more reds the last time. So yes, the fiscal policy is better the last time than now, because now it be worse. It was, but still not be red. So you see the red them, regulatory equality, the land issue, access to credit, all not be red. And then government effectiveness, it be even worse in 2017 compared to 2018. Even though the current administration still failed. But the previous administration under former President Koroma, now be 17%. 31%. And under President Bio in 2018, now 40%. So they all two fail, but it be worse the last time. So now all that here we need for address. And look at the other thing where I go show now, the new scores, the primary education expenditure. Fail last time. Natural resources protection failed last time. This time we fail. But in terms of the primary education, Fambulem, let me take a look at the current score for that. So the primary education, even though according to UNESCO, they don't get data, but then say, I go read them for now. Primary education expenditures. Official data received after printing shows Sierra Leone passes this indicator in the fiscal year 2020. So what do you mean? Then get the data before this, before them print their score year. So now that's it mean, but then pass. And look at the child. Girls' primary education completion rate. We need for say kudos to the government for this. According to UNESCO. So you look 2017, the score was 69.4. And in 2018, it jumped significantly, 82.9. And that gives 68%. So kudos to the government for that. So the things that the government do well, we need for praise them. But the things that we need improvement, my family, my brothers and sisters, yeah, let we speak up. Let we appeal to the president and in team for let them do better. So at this point, I'm not going to say, oh, well, let them sack the finance minister or whatever. Then the president in call. But waiting, I'm not going to scared for say is the president in economic policies, they need to work for right now. They need to work. Then terrible. We need to see it generate economic activities. And I don't give one of the solutions to them. Shift focus a little bit from foreign investors where then therefore look at boku indicators that we're not favorable right now. Shift to the Salone people them. Try for attract the Salone people that will get money. The one they were there abroad and the one they were there in the country. For let them invest. How they do that? Give them incentives. So now that day I go kind of try for conclude. But as I be promised, I want for show now the description of that government effectiveness. Let us show now that description there, because it's nice for let we able to understand rather than we just dismiss the entire thing and therefore make excuses for we politicians them or we government them. So within the government effectiveness indicator, how they describe them? This indicator measures the quality of public services, the quality of the civil service, and its independence from political pressures, the quality of policy formulation and implementation, and the credibility of the government's commitment to its stated policies. Countries are evaluated on the following factors. The factors the way that they consider whether they evaluate the effectiveness of the government. Competence of civil service, effective implementation of government decisions, and public service vulnerability to political pressure. And we all know say, even under President Bill, the institutions then they under pressure, political pressure. And at that way they always say, nah, VOS, let us stop for politicize the institutions then. And this score tell we the same. Say the government fail, the government not effective in running President Bill in the administration for right now. They're not effective for running the government. So the other factor we did look at, ability to manage political alternations without drastic policy changes or interruptions in government services. And remember at one point, I will make this very clear. Say we get for allow continuity. Where one administration don't start a good policy, not play political game and condemn them even when a good policy. Continue with it. And one of the indicators this we need to look at. So if we fail miserably in terms of government effectiveness, how you feel say foreign investors then go feel attracted? How? And look at the indicators then. So we need for stop for politicize we institutions if we want for increase the score. And definitely President Bill, a guilty administration, guilty of that. The previous administration, then guilty of that. We don't see that. And not to make this order from the above, they continue for be center stage na Salone. Order from the above. So this now one other indicator, factor where they use for assess how effective government be. So the other factor is flexibility, learning, and innovation within the political leadership, ability to coordinate conflicting objectives into coherent policies. And I go give the administration kudos where they try for improve science and technology, innovation at our country. There, I believe say that they get a lot for do with the higher marks compared to the time where former President Kouma be in power. I believe so that innovation it get a lot for do with it. But in terms of public influence, political influence and stuff, I don't think I go say President Bill go score higher marks. To me, now almost the same as the previous administration. So the other factor we need to look at the efficiency of revenue mobilization and budget management. The revenue mobilization, the government they do well, but that budget management, I don't think that they, in my opinion, I not believe I'm not convinced really say that they manage the budget well. And the other factor, the quality of transportation infrastructure, telecommunications, electricity supply, public health, care provision, and public schools, the availability of online government services. The government will get mixed review now. Policy consistency, that's not key. The extent to which government commitments are honored by new governments. And we all see plenty of the previous administration in commitment. This administration not honor their commitments than they. And one big example, the Mama Airport. Then they I sure say go be one of the negative factors them will make the president administration or pass in terms of government effectiveness. So the other factor we need to look at is prevalence of red tape. Within a red tape, like bureaucracy. The degree to which, the degree to which bureaucratic delays in their business activities. And it's still, remember where I talk about the ease of doing business, that's called we don't deteriorate. So that they should say the government still gets a lot for do on this. And the other aspect what they look at, existence of a taxpayer service and information program and an efficient and effective appeals mechanism. then I would say mixed review now as well. So the extent to which effective coordination mechanisms ensure policy consistency across departmental boundaries and administrative structures are organized along functional lines with little duplication. And we see a lot of duplication actually, given that an example will be why we need 2 Ministry of Education. That's not duplication, unnecessarily and expensive. I don't think anybody, given the size of Salone, even America, they get 1 ministry of education department. They don't get 2. Why Salone, small Salone, forgets 2 education departments? So that's not some of the duplications them where I believe say can be like that education example, Ministry of Education, forget 2. Go tell we say that's not ineffectiveness of the way the president they run the country. And the other factor now is political, the business processes of government agencies are regularly reviewed to ensure efficiency of decision making and implementation. Of course, then they self arguably go be mixed review. Political leadership sets and maintains strategic priorities, and the government effectively implements reforms. So I don't know how much reform, and in terms of the fight against corruption, absolutely the government will do well. And an example will be where Parliament don't pass, don't make amendment to the current, the 2008 Anti-Corruption Act. I will say kudos to the government for that. And the other component is hiring and promotion within the government is based on merit and performance, and ethical standards prevail. This is now another big one. Both the previous administration to this administration, we all don't see the accusations today. The previous administration, the current administration, and the GTT report, where now the government transition team report. For the people that we don't forget what in the GTT mean, we see them make allegations, say the previous administration were under former President Koroma, be they hire more of the people from the north. And now the accusations still don't go for this administration, say that they hire more people than from the south and the east. So that kind of accusation, they look into it, where they assess the effectiveness of government. So, and una see that indicator are very important. So when people then they throw stone and they accuse each other, I can always say, we na Sierra Leone, we they look at party color. But that foreign investor, the people that outside of Salone, they look at the indicators their way that they assess the government on. And other indicators then they will need for time for correct, need for improve upon them, not for beat we self up, not for blame APC versus SLPP, who that this, who that. Now the country over push go before. And how will they push the country go before? Now for let we address the factors here where they make the government effective. If we not address them, we continue for play along party lines, along regional lines, we go continue for score low mark, for fail in terms of government effectiveness. So fumble them, and they take me time for read their indicator here, for send message to we brothers and sisters them we feel say Salone na APC SLPP getter. Salone not to APC SLPP get Salone. Salone na we all young. So as a result, we for think Salone first. We will put Salone first and make sure say we pressure them. Una when our supporters of them 2 parties here. Una pressure una people them, una leaders them. For let they address their issues here. For let Salone be that place where we all go cherish. Where we all go definitely say na the heaven on earth. I strongly believe say na the heaven on earth, but we can will do more. So let we continue for let we try for wrap up with the indicators them. So the other indicator where they look at, the government wage bill is sustainable and does not crowd out. I just want to go down tire with this phrase, crowd out. I don't use that several times on this platform, several times. It's very important. I go read them back. The government wage bill is sustainable and does not crowd out spending required for public services. Pay and benefit levels do not deter talented people from entering the public sector. Flexibility that is not abused exists to pay more attractive wages in hard to fill positions. So this is not key. The people that where they hire, but for some reason we they hire people them we support we instead of put people them we get the qualification, we deserving of the position. And what do they do? We they even hire people them we're not even necessary to certain position because we want to compensate them. We then support the party, and then they result in the wage bill for go up. All to the parties them then guilty of that. Every Sierra Leonean go agree with me. All two APC, SLPP, then two parties then they don't know. Then guilty of that. So waiting at the other aspect where this is very clear. Government revenues are generated by low distortion taxes. Import tariffs are low and relatively uniform. Export rebate or duty drawbacks are functional. The tax base is broad and free of arbitrary exemptions. Tax administration is effective and rule-based, and tax administration and compliance costs are low. On a member way, I tell you about the tax base. Broaden the tax base. Instead of you begin the finger point this business because they begin money to the other party, so you go punish them. Then in a proper management of the government, ineffective way for manage the government. So reduce the tax system and give people an incentive. So that way more people can go pay tax. So you broaden the base and then you generate more revenue. Remember that kind of slogan where they say in Salone? Fast penny, a better pass slow one pound. If you ace tax and you say, oh, I go get more revenue, no mistake. It will be slow. The economy go slow down. So reduce taxes, get more people that will go benefit from that reduction in taxes, and then more people go equally begin pay tax. So you go get more people that where they pay, you go generate more taxes because you don't broaden the base. So me fumble them, dear I beg. Let we not use politics into all length here. But again, I go quickly just go through let we just understand waiting and a boku measures then they use for assess the government effectiveness. And I'm so glad they're really strong at this because it means a lot for let the government be effective. So this is not another one. Policies and priorities are linked to the budget. Multi-year expenditure projections are integrated into the budget formulation process and reflect explicit costing of the implications of new policy initiatives. The budget is formulated through systematic consultations with spending ministries and the legislature. Adhering to the fixed budget calendar, the budget classification system is comprehensive and consistent with the international standards, and off-budget expenditure are kept to a minimum and handled transparently. My brother, I'm not saying about boku English na. But what did they say now? Now exactly what I be talk about. The priorities, therefore, they're in line with the budget. You don't go say because I go score political point, let I talk about free education. Even where it get for cost the country so much. No. Do them in phases where it go there in line with the budget. Not go trust money where we not able to pay, we not get. Say you want for do free education, for score political point. It's completely wrong. Now poor management. Now ineffective way for run the government. So what do they do? You do something where they in line with the budget we don't set. And the other thing where I always they say, people when they talk about this free education is successful, I tell people outrightly, I say, you know what? I hold on me score for say you're effective or not, successful or not, until I see the bill. And at that then say, nah, yeah. New policies you want for make sure say, la put them back, Leone see. I will read them back because it's very important for we understand this. Policies and priorities are linked to the budget. And I get that too. You for link them to the budget. Multi-year expenditure projections are integrated into the budget formulation process. Multi-year projections and reflect explicit costing of the implications of new policy initiative. The implication, the cost, not for hide the cost. Where I ask say, anybody go tell we how much this free education go cost? People then say, oh, me na APC. No, me na Sierra Leonean. If you remember, again, this is not on party line. No. President Biodo win. Now the president, we all I strongly believe. You wake me past sleep, you ask who that's na me president, I go say President Biodo Salone. So you ask me who that na the president of Salone, you wake me past sleep, say I go say President Biodo. I recognize him 100% as the president. But you remember an interview we do on BBC before the elections. President Bio not be know how much it go cost where they ask her. He say no get the numbers them. But clearly not be know. And up till now, we not get numbers them as to how much it go cost. Waiting they say they go allocate 21% of the budget. Now proper planning that? Now effective way for run a new program? Absolutely not. And this they tell we that. But when you ask them questions, then people then say you na APC. Boy, as a Sierra Leonean, we not for ask questions. So my brothers and sisters, and they appeal to me, SLPP brothers and sisters. Dear, when people and they ask questions, una not bash them. Una think, waiting at the implications of them questions and waiting at the meaning of them questions and if they assess the government effectiveness on how they say explicit, meaning you for sure explicit costing of the implications of new policy initiatives. So tell we how much it costs. What did it get for mean to the country? If not debt we get for DEPA for God knows how long, where you unveil this initiative. Let the people know. So then go able for determine if indeed we did on the right path or not. But let we not just say, oh, free education, they will not care about the cost. It's wrong. The international body, they assess that way. They assess the effectiveness of government by showing the cost of initiatives. So when you show the cost, then we look at the benefit and say, okay, well, the cost and benefits, you weigh them. It will be transparent. So we fumble them. I'm so glad and I take me time for read them factors here. For let we understand that Salone, because it look like say people in this party business don't blind them. For understand say we need for ask questions. Not to disrespect. We want to let the country go before. Let the government be effective. And the only way where the government will be effective if they address their factors here. And not to me put them factors here. Now the the Millennium Challenge Corporation were definitely credible. And the president know that. The ACC boss know that. Say they're credible. And from their website, the way how they describe government effectiveness and the factors they really look at. Now that they read for us so. So let me try for read the last few one them. So the other part where they talk about transparency, we don't read that. And the other thing where they basically talk about the budget is implemented as planned and actual expenditures deviate only slightly from planned levels. So people where they talk about, oh well, now the benefit of the country that they spend and stuff. No, if you don't plan something, try forget justification as to why you deviate from the budget where you don't make. But now if you check the previous administration and the current administration, and I make consistently they get deficit, then you know say, okay, well, the plan is we will just see slight deficit. But when you factor the actual money where they spend, the deficit's huge. But yet today they ask question. Where their money then they now we grand picking them, great grand picking them. Therefore suffer because of therefore they pay them debts then they. But sometimes they're sorry for will they write them off. But we not get guarantee when they go write them off. So that's make we need for ask. What do they go trust for? Now the right thing that we go trust for, now the right one I for spend them, we care for ask all them questions then they. So, waiting on the last factor where they measure now, actually the second last, say budget monitoring occurs throughout the year based on well-functioning management information systems. Reconciliation of banking and fiscal records is practiced comprehensively, properly, and in a timely way. I don't talk this countless times. So let we not wait after them commodity before we begin check them. That's not poor management. That ineffective way of doing things. The effective way is in a regular. I don't give example in my workplace severally. Now yeah, they wait. You dey go through the process. As something go wrong, so alarm bell don't ring, and then check on her right away. So we get external audit, we get internal audit at our office. Where will they go through? Some taking a headache for go through them, but you get for go through them because they want to make sure say internally, then check you. So where did they do external audits they now? Audit people and they come now. No, and that's not it. Because we don't clean, we don't make sure say we adhere and in a timely way they audit we. So but Salone, guess what? You go ask Mr. Minister why you send this, that, then go fire you. So waiting the auditor there for now. Every department forget internal audit system. We go make sure say then do it regularly. And now one of the functions than that, one of the factors where they assess how effective a government is. So the other factor we then talk about Naya is the last one. The writer Naya say in year fiscal reports and public accounts are prepared promptly and regularly and provide full and accurate data. The extent to which accounts are audited in a timely, just what I say, accounts are audited in a timely, professional and comprehensive manner, and appropriate action is taken on budget report and audit findings. I just don't say that. So we fumble them if we really, to me, this now me closing. Thank you, President Bill, where you get 11 pass out of 20. Thank you. But we get boku, long way for go. So dear President Bill, as the papa for that country day, we want to let you look at particularly what I just read. Because if you go according to the factors, then they will try for address them factors, then they boku other place they will get pass mark. Boku, because like the rule of law, then put an eye for let you be effective, you not forget political interference. You for allow the institutions them for be independent, and we don't see that. An example is the bank governor. It declare, say President Bill for touch that person there. La go back. Former President Kuruma. It declare by the Bank Act. What did he do? He sack the bank governor. So how that person there go tell you say, no, we they trust money, so you go put the country in hardship, where you can hire him and fire him anytime. You take power where you not get. Now reason make them pass them say for be independent. So that way they go able give you, even though now something where you know why you go able give the right advice. Where you go able to run the country effectively. So the same thing again, the ACC boss. Again at the ACC Act, the 2008 Act, clearly, President Bill not for able for fire him. But what did he do? He fire him. So all that thing in there, they create issue for let the country not go before. And of course, the infamous example, former President Kuruma, he fired Sam Ansumana as a vice president, where not only ECOWAS make it clear, say he unconstitutional. So all that thing in there, because issue in the country, they make the country they go before. We need for put that thing in place. And it just take political will, not to something where you need for spend fortune on. No, not just political will. Say, I want to put Salone first instead of for like a kind of strengthen my position of power. Put the country first. When you put her first, with all the benefits, then there will be a great legacy. But the thing what I observe, African leaders, them, that legacy they don't even care about. They don't care about legacy, because if you care about legacy, you go do the right thing. So, Fambule, I want to appear for appeal, particularly to President Bill. The scorecard, you get plenty time for turn things around. But the only thing where they say is, you forget the political will. To me, I go suggest, say, concentrate on the economy. Concentrate on the policies. The fiscal policies. Plenty other things that go come in place. Even that free education, free education where they talk about. If people can get job, Boku people can go able to pay for them picking them school fee. Boku. So the economy is very important. And the most important aspect. Because nobody will tell me say get a decent job, they make wage and stuff, and not proud for paying in picking school fees. So you can able for the vulnerable picking now where not get parents them waiting, then you spend on them. So what do? You reduce the burden on government. But if you get that mentality, say government now for do everything, why will they cry down socialist idea? Because government in general not effective, and we don't see the score. Government not effective. So government not to the best people person for run their initiative then they, because government are effective. So dear President Bill, focus on ruling the country. Forget first for politics. You get few years. Maybe by 2022, yes, you're going to wrap up now, and then you can go ahead now with political strategies and stuff. And I tell you for free, sir, with all due respect, if you handle the economy well, I will give example to the Tanzanian president. When he win election, a winner with 50-something%. I think a year or so after that election, where they do a poll, over 90% of the people of the country approve of his job. The people that will not vote for himself gladly over the way they run the country. And at the same way want for you, President Bill. You get 50-something%. But when you run the country, you want for appeal to people that will not vote for you. Let them knock chest and say, wow, President Bill don't do well. But if you look around, the people that mostly where they say you don't do well, now only you supporters them. You need to go beyond the supporters them and reach out to Sierra Leoneans them. Do something for Sierra Leoneans them. So that way the APC folks themselves, if they're not saying a public self, then go say in a corner, say no, President Bill don't do well. And that want, because with that the country will go before. So dear Papa, Papa Salone, the daddy na the country. You not the daddy. You know we all daddy. If you fail, that country don't fail. And I go continue for pray for you. And I go urge every Sierra Leonean for pray for you. Let God direct you. Not to the new direction, but the right direction. Because I don't know if new mean good. Because not to everything when new be good. But let God direct you in the right direction. Let God make you succeed for push Salone from point A to point B. And the only way where you go do that is for put Salone first. You yourself need for put Salone first. Do you not put SLPP first? If you do that, you will always be distracted by political strategies. And do you are big economics need a mix with politics it go well. Because the economic policies that we get for make sense. Some people then go tell you say, oh, you political people are not go like that. Because what that they do, it broaden the base. It make everybody enjoy. But in the end, the economy, it go give easy re-election. Easy re-election. That's not my own assurance to you, sir. And you self-campaign on the bread and butter issue. So as a result, dear, not forget that campaign day. Not forget that promise day to people them. Again, I want to tell all my brothers and sisters them, we said 2 hours, but for some reason we just passed the 3-hour mark. But I hope no more say on no sort of feel drowned, but I just feel say essential for let we go through this kind analysis. Let people understand where they say effective government. Not to just one word. You get boku things the way they look at, we go assess a government say effective. I want to say boku thank you to una all with una families them, and una thank you for una joining tonight, and the VOS family una thank you. The presenters them, I want to say thank you to una all, and let God continue for bless una all, because clearly una dey pay una get that money dey, but yet day in, day out, every week, una de come here, una give una all for the people of Mama Salone. Because they say knowledge is power. We share with them the little way we know. And with una, where they call, where they contribute, that the third. Una self they share una knowledge. And let God continue for bless we all. And let God bless the president in cabinet. Again, let not wish them bad. The need for succeed, for let Salone succeed. The way they come after they continue. They take from Usai President Bioge for left. And let we wish them well as well. So let we wish the parliament well. Let the way they don't start so with that anti-corruption amendment. Let them continue, because unanimously them pass that amendment day. And it become law after we President Bioge for sign them. So let them continue for work together for push Mama Salone go before. So let we bless them and let we pray for them. And the judiciary, who side justice no day, peace no get for day. So let we pray for the judiciary, the people away they work na the judiciary. Let them push that function they go before. And above all, fumble them. Now one great Salone we get. And let we pray for a better Salone. We people that don't tire for suffer. So until Thursday, we are going to come back with another episode of Salone Issues. This na Abdul Karim Kagbo, the founder and CEO of VOS Network. They say, una tata.
Cotton Tree Pharmacy is your new trusted provider of pharmacy services in Sierra Leone. You can count on Cotton Tree Pharmacy for genuine quality brand name and generic medicines. Guaranteed refills for prescriptions issued by doctors in Sierra Leone or abroad. Door-to-door medication delivery service in Freetown and beyond. Free health education. Have you heard about our Diaspora Medicine Connect? With Cotton Tree Pharmacy's Diaspora Medicine Connect, anyone can pay for your prescription online. Bring your prescription to 17 Pademba Road. Collect an invoice. Send your invoice to your sponsor in the diaspora. Your sponsor pays for your prescription online. We deliver your medication to you. For quality prescription and medications, visit Cotton Tree Pharmacy at 17 Pademba Road in Freetown. Have questions? Call our pharmacist on WhatsApp at 030-611-664 or visit our website at www.cottontreemedicalgroup.com. Come to Cotton Tree Pharmacy. We are ready to fill your next prescription.